According to the Cambridge Dictionary, success is defined as the achieving of the results wanted or hoped for, or something that achieves positive results. However, we as a group of college students have noticed that there are many different ways to define exactly what success is. For us, success might be to finish college and get a job in our field of study. On our way to reaching our version of success, we were given the opportunity to travel the world to expand our knowledge. In the process of doing so, we searched to find how success varies in each country by collecting data and speaking with the members of the different communities we have visited. Although, because there is no real measurement for success, other indicators such as happiness can be utilized to attempt to reach a conclusion. What makes it even more challenging is that countries as a whole may have different views than the very own people who inhabit it. Furthermore, we have gathered that success is truly defined by each and every person, differing around the world between continents, countries, towns, and households.
There are roughly 46.5 million people who live in Spain. About 90% of these are of Spanish ethnicity. The majority of these people live in large cities along the coast. Spain is a country that has a thriving capitalistic mixed economy, which is rated to be the 14th largest in the world. Their large economy is run by a democratic government which maintains the country's ability to produce contributions in agriculture, tourism, energy, technology, and transportation, giving them diverse economic interests that are constantly improving their economy. Along with a flourishing economy, Spain has a healthcare system that is considered to be one of the best in the world, providing universal healthcare to all Spanish citizens. Rigorous educational laws ensure that education is easily accessible and is constantly improving for all citizens residing in the country. Although Spain seems to be the ideal place to live on paper, their unemployment rate has risen in the past decade from 8% to a current rate of about 25%.
Successful for me means that to love your life, basically. It's not a matter of money. It's not a matter of being a star. It's for me to feel good, to like what you do, and to do good things in your life. That's what it is for me.
Despite the high unemployment rate, we've found that people in Spain have an immense love for the lives that they live. On the United Nations World Index report, Spain ranks 35th out of 155 countries, with a minimal focus on being rich and more of a focus on what's in their immediate lives. It's easy to see why. We've found a successful life in Spain to be a life that you enjoy.
Ghana is a unitary presidential constitutional democracy located along the Gulf of Guinea and Atlantic Ocean in the sub-region of West Africa. Ghana has been autonomous for 57 years now and has established a growing GDP of $130 billion currently. There are about 28.2 million people in the country, with 24.2% of the population living in poverty as of 2010. More so, 25.2% of the population lives on $1.90 per day or less.
So being able to have your basic needs is success among the neighborhood, like anybody who is able to take their kids to a good school and it's, even rice, because some of us cannot afford rice. We saw them as successful people, right? And but now it goes beyond just having material things, but it means like having just a happy life doing a small sources and being able to afford some things that I might not even need.
The life expectancy has stayed stagnant at 61 years, with an infant mortality rate of 62 per 1,000 live births. It is currently ranked number 118 out of 180 in terms of economic freedom. With a happiness score of 4.120, Ghana is ranked number 132 out of 155 countries with reportable data.
If you are doing something, you have to like what you are doing, and you have to, use it yourself, so that if people see you also using what you are doing, and they are...
Success, I would describe in these terms. We strive to achieve something in life, and so as you're seeing progress being made towards that goal or objective, I think success is being achieved.
We have noticed that despite economic disparities, Ghanaian people view success with a positive outlook. Contrary to the country and world reports, the individuals do not mention monetary values when asked what success is. The Ghanaian people we interacted with displayed happiness levels not indicative of the happiness score of the country.
There are approximately 56 million people living in South Africa. A shocking 17% of the population are living in poverty and on $2 a day. Additionally, out of 155 countries, South Africa ranks 102nd on the World Happiness Index. Between the Interport lectures, the people I met at my homestay, and the people who guided us throughout the country, it is understandable why.
I think a lot of people define success by how much money you earn or status of job and so on. But for me, to be successful means a lot more than that. I'd much rather have a happy family life and a child that's confident and well integrated than a child that's academically successful.
Success is making all that hard work, and it's all being used for a good purpose.
For me, success is being content with who you are as a person, understanding who you are, and basically having a plan of your life and following that plan. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to achieve that whatever you want to you are pursuing, but understanding that you have a path that is chosen, and following that path for me is my definition of success.
Because their government under Zuma is so corrupt, people are not satisfied. Without this satisfaction, it is much harder to find success. This is supported by the fact that South Africa's unemployment rate is 28%, more than a quarter of the country. The GDP growth rate is a mere 0.3%, which does not bring much, if any, hope for the people.
Success is having a solid job, a healthy family, and being able to build a solid foundation for your children.
I want my children to be, not my grandchildren to be successful, because why I want that for them? Because in this country where no opportunities in life, whether it's education or whatever. So I want that for my children. They must be very successful in getting a job first, and of course in their career. That's what I want them to be successful in their careers, yeah. Which is very important, you know, because if you haven't got the qualifications, you're not going to get a job. So I always encourage them to study or go to university. That's very important. And I want them to be successful in education, that's all.
Thus, we can conclude that South Africa's government is the reason why the people feel unhappy and in return unsuccessful, because Zuma is using all his power and wealth for himself instead of for his people.
So success is defined for every individual differently, but in my kind of corporate and academic experience, I would say that somebody is successful when they have found a profession or a vocation where they derive personal meaning from what they do on a daily basis, and where they feel like they're connected to a broader mission or a purpose that actually brings satisfaction and benefits to society. So a successful career is one that has personal and societal benefits. And I think different cultures do have different definitions of success based on what opportunities are available.
Vietnam is a one-party socialist republic country that is a hub for manufacturing of high-end products like Nike. With a GDP of $216 billion US, Vietnam is continuing to develop as a country. However, due to the Vietnam War, there has continued to be many issues and changes to the people of Vietnam. Vietnam's happiness index has become the 95th happiest country out of 155 countries reported. With a population of 92.7 million people and growing, 3.1% of the population is living on less than $2 a day. And work is continuously hard to find, especially in the fields that many people in Vietnam are studying.
Success is to work on the way you choose to work. The journey is more important than the destination. The people who think is the most successful is the one who work his way, do the thing that they choose to do, and bring people to do it with him. Like Einstein is the one. Einstein and all of the old calligraphy master in Vietnam, They make the way for people to join the cause, to join the journey. Because there are many people not successful but still happy in their life.
Only 30% of graduates are able to do their work sufficiently, and 17% of university graduates are jobless. There is also stress for the men to find a family, as there are more men to women at a rate of 122 men for every 100 women, which could affect how people find themselves as successful.
Japan is an archipelago consisting of 6,852 islands and about 127 million people. Approximately 9.1 million of the people live in the capital, Tokyo. Their government is a constitutional monarchy where the power of the emperor is limited. The Japanese economy ranks in the top marks for competitiveness and economic freedom. The country benefits from highly skilled workforce and is among the highly educated countries in the world, with one of the highest percentages of its citizens holding a tertiary education degree. They rank number 51 on the happiness index.
The success is like you have a good job, a good pay, and you are married and have some children. And this is how Japanese people see success. It's for him being successful. But for Japanese people, it's more having money and having a family.
In our time in Japan, we noticed the orderly system and the genuinely happy people in everyday life. Upon getting lost, locals went out of their way to assist us into getting to our destination. The Japanese and American culture are similar in many ways. They both feel the need to complete their degrees and earn a well-paying job. The end goal for both cultures is finding a partner and settling down to live a long life.
Coming into this project, we expected the answer of success to be different for each country and culture we visited. For many, we assumed that the perception of success would be much like the American definition. In American culture, money defines success, but while traveling around the world, this was not the case. In each of our interviews, we noticed there wasn't a particular pattern. Some people's views of success were catered to the struggles and needs of their country, while others were more personal, non-materialistic attributes such as family, livelihood, and happiness. At times, as we hypothesized at the beginning of the project, we found success to be defined by a person's culture and country. But in the end, we noted success to be defined by an individual.